Mickey Austin alongside for this one. Mickey, interesting selection from the Proteas for this one. What's Norma Plummer got planned here?
Yeah, it is. I think you're going to see a long game here in terms of combinations. So planning for the bigger picture ahead. You see Stoltz get the start in that goal attack position over Marijke Holzhausen. See Grizel get that start at wing attack, and then Somi move into the centre position. So Erin Berger getting a well-earned rest. That partnership of Mueni and Vimbella are going to work overtime today. Vimbella usually in that goalkeeper position, so interesting to see how she runs out in front today. And then for Scotland, interesting selection for me is Becca Goodwin in that goal shooter position. Emma Barry putting an absolute show on yesterday, so off the bench today, look for her to inject.
Scotland goal attack.
There are the Scottish Thistles coming onto court.
South Africa.
Here comes Lindsay Gallagher. Big game for her this. South Africa won the toss. They will have the centre pass. A hugely important game for them, with England having beaten Jamaica in this group over on court 1. We're live at the M&S Bank Arena in Liverpool. South Africa against Scotland, day 4 of the 2019 Netball World Cup. The Proteas unbeaten, won their first 3 games. Trinidad and Tobago, Fiji, and then Jamaica last night in an absolute thriller. They have put themselves in a very good position in this World Cup.
Here we go then, Liverpool, are you ready? Scotland v South Africa.
Advantage break and wing attack.
We're underway. The South African Proteas playing right to left in their white and green dresses. The Thistles of Scotland, left to right, all in blue.
Contact.
Scotland just the 1 win at the tournament so far, that against Samoa on the opening morning. And here's Lenise Potgieter with her first goal of the match. 111 of 116 ahead of this match for Potgieter. She's their sharpshooter up front as Scotland go about their business with their first possession. Claire Maxwell became a centurion yesterday, the Scotland captain. Lindsay Gallagher from mid-range. Good start for Gallagher.
Yeah, Gallagher's had a standout tournament, been really instrumental in that goal attack position. So look to her to take on a lot of the pressure shooting, uses her body very well.
Goal defense. Outside.
This is the 3rd Netball World Cup meeting between South Africa and Scotland. South Africa has won both previous meetings. But you've got to go all the way back to 1963 and 1967 in Perth for the previous meeting between these two in a Netball World Cup. It's been a long time coming, this one.
That's a very, very long time ago. I was not around then.
Goalkeeper comes in.
What, you think I was?
No comment.
South Africa.
Scotland respond.
Goal defense.
Tied up at 2 each after 2 minutes. Here's the captain, Longwi Masomi. Back out to the goal defence.
Goal attack.
Shadeen van der Merwe, one of the changes.
Contact centre before the offside. Centre, away.
All English umpires taking care of this match today. Louise Travis taking care of the sideline that's furthest away from camera. Kate Stevenson running the line closest to us here in commentary position.
Scotland looking to go ahead here. Remember, this is on the South African centre pass, but that's brilliant work at the back from Phumza Mawene.
Nice,
goal keep.
Nicely done from Phumza Mawene, tipping the shot and also able to regather.
But there's the get back from Scotland. That's just what you want. You lose possession, win it back quickly. And here come the Thistles.
Seem to be transitioning through court today incredibly quickly. They're mid-court, that inclusion in the wing defence position from McPhail.
Obstruction goal defence.
Really driving the ball all the way to that circle edge.
Yep.
Gallagher looking for her second goal. A little flex of the knees and then up and over, but it doesn't make it. She chases it, but can't keep the ball in play.
See seem to be really concerned with Phumza Mawani and her intimidation over the shot there. You see a pump fake once, twice from Gallagher, and that tells me that she's not concentrating on her shooting technique and that her psyche is already being affected by the pressure that Phumza Mawani is putting on.
Phumza Mawani plays a netball for the Sunshine Coast Lightning and the
centre, penalty.
Super Netball in Australia. So many of these pro-tiers play overseas. There's Renska Stoltz. She has played for the Loughborough Lightning and Wasps in the Super League, as Potgieter has another for South Africa.
Yeah, and that's largely due to one of the gods of netball in Norma Plummer, who is the head coach of South Africa. She really understands that in order to drive this national team forward, these individual players do need to be playing their trade in some of the best leagues across the world.
On the edge. Contact goal defence.
There is Norma Plummer, you're just talking about her. Won a gold medal herself at the Netball World Cup.
South Africa.
Coached Australia. Stoltz. South Africa looking to get the ball inside to Renska Stoltz, but it's a turnover. It's a good start from Scotland here, really asking questions of South Africa. Very even in the early stages. Here's McCleary.
And that's always the worry, isn't it? You know, South Africa exuded so much energy in their game against Jamaica on day 3 yesterday, or last night, should I say. And it is always a concern.
Good position from Beth Goodwin. And she rattles it home, almost popped out, but they all count, they go in.
Straight through the hands of Renske Stoltz at the other end.
Long pass over the top to Gallagher, coming
Penalty.
in the back door, and she finishes. Thumbs up indeed.
Beth and Goodwin pulling all of the tricks out of the bag. They're releasing outside of the shooting circle to clear that space for Lindsay Gallagher to drive into underneath the post.
2-goal lead for Scotland against the Pro-Tiers, and they have possession again on the South African centre pass. Here is Gallagher. Down the line to Goodwin. Maxwell, the captain. 100 caps in the game against Uganda last night.
And what an absolute superstar Claire Maxwell is all across the court.
Goalkeeper holding.
And what she has done for Scottish netball across the years has been phenomenal. So really great moment for Claire and all of her family to be able to get a 100th cap here at a World Cup in Liverpool.
Beth Goodwin with her 3rd goal, 3 from 4 now. As you say, under a bit of pressure to perform, substituted early in their previous game. Emma Barry came on in that match, and she dropped 23 of 29 against Uganda. So here is Goodwin looking for another one.
Goal defence obstruction.
Nice finish, Beth Goodwin.
It would be clear that some healthy competition for a bib does you well. Beth and Goodwin take a bow. Look at that shot there, nothing but net.
In the goal third.
And what a headache for Gal Parata in terms of her selection. But also, what a blessing. You know, that's what you want, ultimately. A squad of players who can do a job for you at any time.
And of course, a squad that know each other so well. 11 of the Scotland 12 play with each other for the Strathclyde Sirens. In terms of combinations, they are right in sync as Potgieter looks well in sync with her shooting under the post.
Look at that scoreline, 7-4 early on.
Hold time, please, bib on the court.
And Scottish Thistles do not look worried, do they? Their attack end is nice and flowing. Seem to have multiple options on the ball. It's just a case of them choosing the right one.
Gallagher fighting for possession. Hands it off to a fellow shooter, Goodwin. That one bounces out. And it's a good rebound from Phumza Mawani.
They do give off a lot of height inside that circle, don't they? To the combination of Mawani and Vimbella, both 6 foot plus. So you can almost guarantee that any rebounds are going to go the way of the Spa Proteas.
Potgieter flings it across court to Stoltz. Here's Potgieter in possession again. She'll work the 1-2. Stoltz has it, long ranger. She'll get another chance at it. Frustration on the face of Emily Nicol, the goal D for Scotland.
Nicol and Mulhern working absolute overtime to try and protect that space right by the post. You see them rolling the back space to force Lenise Potgieter and Renske Stoltz to the edge of that circle. Seems to be causing a little bit of problems for the South African pairing at the moment.
Advantage of structuring goal attack.
So South Africa closed the gap to 2 goals. Crisp passing through the mid-court. Renske Stoltz over the top to Potgieter. Gets position and puts it home.
Only one option coming over that centre pass line for the Scottish Thistles in Lindsay Gallagher. Unusual as Nicola McCleary, who is the wing attack for Scotland, is leading the competition at the moment in centre pass receive. She is #1 for the amount of centre pass receive she has had throughout this tournament, so expect to see her pick up her workload.
Yes.
Gallagher
Structuring goalkeeper both
goes
out on
around
the
the
penalty.
corner to Bethan Goodwin, but she'll have the clear shot herself. Leans in off the right peg
South
and
Africa.
puts it up and clean. Scotland up to 8.
Advantage contact goal
4 from
attack.
5 overall for Scotland. That's a decent return.
Causing contact centre.
Bongi and Somi, the captain, playing 102nd cap for South Africa in this one. McCleary down the line to Goodwin. Good intercept though. It was Vimbela.
Absolute gifted that interception was Vimbela. Bethan Goodwin just trying to do everything far too quickly and just gifting the ball to the South African defenders.
Over the top to Potgieter.
Obstruction.
Sticks out that long left leg, comes back on it, the landing foot. And we're all tied up. 8 apiece, just over 5 minutes to go in this first quarter, this crucial match.
Contact. Keeper contact outside.
In Group G.
Keeper. VAR did not have a play, keeper.
So Hayley Mulhern taking her time to set that penalty outside the circle, but Bongi Msomi had the sense of mind to just play on anyway. Find an absolutely free Lenise Potgieter underneath the post.
Contact goal attack, penalty.
So South Africa 9-8 now,
Contact
1 goal
centre, get your
advantage,
arms
but
off.
Scotland centre pass. You'll see the dot bottom left of screen.
Structuring
Next to it.
defence.
SCO, that means Scotland have the centre
Contact
pass,
goalkeeper.
heavy contact coming in on Goodwin.
Just speed of ball moving so quickly, kind of catching some of these players off guard at the moment.
Gallagher out to Maxwell.
Contact centre.
It was a risky pass. Maxwell now can look to work it in, but she goes back to her wing defence. Sarah McPhail, but they've given away possession, Scotland.
Complete lack of a setup inside the Scotland shooting circle there between Lindsay Gallagher and Bethan Goodwin. Have to make sure that they're combining and working together, because otherwise Claire Maxwell has to go all the way back to the line and it results in Scotland losing possession.
Stoltz thinks about the long ranger, but
Centre over here.
gives it to her skipper,
Centre.
Somi.
In line with me, please.
Somi just asked to get in line with the umpire. And here is Stoltz from mid-range. Can't make it. They keep it in field, South Africa. Good hustle in the circle. That's number 9 for Potgieter.
Great skill from the shortest person in that shooting circle. Renske Stoltz makes me believe that my goal attack dream is still alive, because she's the same height as
Goal
me at
defence,
5'6".
obstruction.
I'll back you, Mickey.
VAR
front.
obstruction, wing defence.
Stoltz into
Obstruction,
Potgieter.
goalkeeper.
Instructions to call.
Right hand
She'll
side keeper, advantage on out of play. Get
get
side
the
and
put
away.
back easy. So just a little passage of play here where Scotland have given up possession. They find themselves 3 goals down, having been ahead by 2. First 10 minutes of this match, they were right in it, and that'll help. Goodwin with an important goal for the Scottish Thistles.
Under all sorts of pressure as well. Both South African defenders jumping up and in on her shot, but absolutely no trouble at all for Bethan
Contact
Goodwin.
defence.
So South Africa came into this one after that thriller against Jamaica last night. They got the win. Bounces out.
Out of court.
Just out of court. That's an unlucky breakdown there.
By the post. Wide by the
Scotland.
Post, goal attack. That's it. Advantage obstruction, goalkeeper.
Potgieter with another straightforward shot. Queensland Firebirds, but she's off to the Adelaide Thunderbirds in 2020 in Super Netball. So going around the franchises in Australia. She'll be playing there with Maria Folau. That'll be a potent shooting pairing, won't it, with the Thunderbirds, Folau and Potgieter.
What an ominous pairing that is for any defenders to come up against. Shooting prowess in both of them.
Yes.
Sounds pretty unstoppable, to be
Contact
honest.
goalkeeper, not the dress.
You got the height and the
Yes.
close-in movement from Potgieter and the long ranges from Folau as Gallagher gets one from close range. Scotland up to 10, needed that. Getting within 2. Approaching the final minute of this first quarter. It's been competitive. It was a great start from Scotland. Just the last few minutes.
Advantage contact in defence.
The Proteas have started to strut their stuff. Potgieter. Good step in. Back out to 3 clear.
Advantage breaking goal attack.
Scotland just lacking a little bit of penetration, entering their end third here.
Pass.
And a footwork call on Emily Nicol there.
That's unfortunate. Gives
Contact wing defence.
South Africa a chance here. The contact call too. We'll just slow it down. Go about their process over the top.
South Africa.
Just knocked out of play by Sarah McPhail.
Midway in the circle.
Stolzel inbound.
Great setup from Denise Potgieter, is what we was alluding to earlier. Want to be able to make sure you know exactly which mid-quarter to send this ball into, because your shooter is already presenting nice and strongly for the ball.
A composed finish from the Proteas in this opening quarter. Denise Potgieter with another goal, her 14th. She's at 100%. And South Africa, a hugely important game in the context of this group, given what England did a little earlier on against Jamaica. And they have a 5-goal lead at the break after quarter 1. It's South Africa who leads Scotland by 15 goals to 10. So we're back underway. Claire Maxwell with the centre pass. Scotland right to left, all in blue.
Wing attack.
Looking to their second win of the Netball World Cup. Beat Samoa on the opening morning. 2 losses after that. Here's Goodwin with her first shot. Gets her own rebound. Well followed and well put back. Beth Goodwin.
Couple of changes across the lineups here. You see Chawene comes straight onto the court and explodes into that centre position for South Africa. We also see a new addition in the Scotland lineup in Ella Gibbons coming onto goal defence and standing at a whopping 6'3". Clearly trying to do something to that combination or the scoring power that is Denise Potgieter.
McCleary picks up the loose ball. Here's Maxwell. Back to Gallagher. Bounce pass to the captain Maxwell and into Goodwin. And a good start from Goodwin. Just as I say that,
Advantage obstruction, goal
one bounces out. So South Africa with possession on the Scotland centre pass.
Centre third.
McPhail all with
Centre.
the contact right on the transition line as well. Here's Griesel across court. Kanisa, Potgieter.
South Africa.
Number 16 from her, hasn't missed yet.
And that was a great rolling screen from Denise Potgieter there. I was about to say South Africa could be a little bit smarter on the ball. You saw Lisette Grizel swing the ball all the way across the circle, but when both shooters presented ball side for her. So that needed to be a little bit earlier, but that lady on screen there, Denise Potgieter, got them massively out of trouble by being able to step to the side, clear the pressure and finish.
Nice aerial angle of Denise Potgieter. 62nd test cap for the Proteas in this one. Vastly experienced player, played all around the world. She's working hard here to get position on Ella Gibbons. She has it.
South Africa.
It's a good finish.
Advanced obstruction.
There's that Griesel. That wing attack for the Proteas into Stoltz. Bounces into Gita. Loose pass. Mulheron's onto it. Here's Gibbons sending it up court. McPhail can't keep the handle. Back in South African hands.
The right idea from the Scottish defenders. You saw Hayley Mulheron sitting on the back of the shooter, making that swing ball look available, but all the while her just waiting to pounce.
I love that shot of Gallagher trying to leap over the sideline so she didn't step into the front, the back third, and get herself offside. McCleary, long pass. The wing defence of South Africa. Van der Merwe almost onto it. Another missed shot though from Goodwin.
Contact centre.
It's a beautiful first-second swing across the circle from Nicola McCleary. So although Shadeen Van der Merwe was almost next to it, because it went so quickly, she was not in a position to get her hands up quick enough.
8 goals clear, South Africa.
Contact goalkeeper in the back.
Another
Penalty.
contact call from Hayley Mulheron.
Hold time just to set it. It's further forward. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. There.
Stoltz just hands it off to Potgieter. Little double clutch,
Scotland.
up and over.
What for?
Number 19 for the
Hold
knees,
time, please.
Potgieter.
Injury, wing defence.
We've got a 9-goal lead now, and we have a change. Sarah McPhail heads to the seats.
Kelly Boyle comes onto the court in wing defence position to replace her. More characteristically plays in that wing defence, wing attack position. But throughout the duration of this tournament, we've seen her compete in that wing defence position. We also see a positional change between Hayley Mulheron and Ella Gibbons. So Hayley Mulheron is now running out the front as goal defence with the ball now.
And the pass is deflected into the hands of Somi. Here come the Proteas again.
Advantage offside.
Positional changes like that always interest me, because at the minute, I would say that the issue for the Scottish Thistles is in their
Contact on
attack
the
end.
ball.
They're lacking penetration. There's lots of little mini errors creeping in, sending the ball into arms. They can't find their shooters, or when they do, their shooters aren't scoring. And yet the only changes we've seen is in the defensive end, which tells me that they are paying absolute respect to the Proteas at the moment. But that's not how you win a game. You win a game by attacking the game,
Contact, wing defence.
in my
Expert
opinion.
comments from Surrey Storm captain and director of netball, Mickey Austin. They've got Emma Barry on the bench. They do have that option. She's been a bit of a breakthrough player at this tournament. How long do you think before Gail Parata might call on Emma Barry?
Pretty soon, potentially after another turnover in that Scottish attack end. And if you look to the Scottish bench,
She's up on her feet.
Scotland in the centre third.
we're getting good at
Centre
this.
third, yes.
22-11, Scotland trail South Africa. Boyle sends it through to Maxwell. Goodwin back to her captain, 1-2. And it's an important goal. 6 from 10 before that, 60%. She needs to raise that percentage. Beth Goodwin here. Just runs away from Bongwin Somi, can't keep it in. 31 years of age, chasing down loose balls.
The ball actually ended up in the crowd, so what a treat for one of the spectators.
Do you get to keep them in netball?
It's not like cricket.
You don't get to keep them in cricket either.
Oh,
I think you do in
not?
baseball, yeah.
Oh. Great roll around the baseline from Bethan Goodwin, but she can't handle the catch.
The speed with which South Africa moved the ball up the court. A little floated pass.
Contact, goal attack, penalty.
Back there from Stoltz.
Goal attack, centre third.
Very in
Centre
sync
third.
side, aren't they, the Proteas? Almost don't need to even look at each other when they pass the ball. Here's Griesel. Stoltz, there you go, a little shovel in. Mid-range shot. Doesn't get there, but Potgieter just bossing
Scotland.
the goal area at the moment.
Renska Stoltz trying absolutely everything to get herself into some form here underneath the shooting posts. And buoyed by confidence to know that it doesn't matter even if she misses, because the chances are Lenise Potgieter is going to be able to collect that rebound.
They've got some heavy hitters waiting in the wings, don't they? Marika Holzhausen, Erin Berger, midfielder Carla Pretorius, Goldie. All regular starters that can be called upon by Norma Plummer.
Yeah, and what an absolute treat that is for a coach to have. You know, generally, although you come to a tournament with a squad full of 12, you need probably 9 world-class players that could take the court at any time, because there does become a point in time as these teams progress through, and I'm sure South Africa will be one of those that are looking to target a semi-final place, that, you know, you don't want to make too many changes.
Nicely done for Scotland. Needed that.
Contact centre.
23-13.
Shoulder, straight into it.
10 goals the difference.
Goalkeeper obstruction. Penalty. Goalkeeper is against you.
Stoltz will have another attempt.
Scotland!
That'll give her confidence.
What for?
As you say, they've got the buffer here.
Time. Goal attack.
They can afford to send up a few as we have another change. It's Gallagher who leaves the court.
And Niamh McCall coming into that goal attack position. More traditionally a goal shooter. She can use her body incredibly well when she gets inside that shooting circle. And clearly showing right now that she's got speed to burn out the front as well. And a much better feed from Maxwell into that backspace for Bethan Goodwin.
Good win. And the shot is good. South Africa. Cleary just gets a pass back and
Point defence, just one back.
cops one in the mouth. She'll shake that off. Stoltz.
Contact, goalkeeper, get your arms off the player. Yes.
Clear instructions to Ella Gibbons, holding on. Potgieter.
Scotland!
Good to say as well, Potgieter after that. There's the change. McCall on for Gallagher.
Contact centre. Contact with goal defence.
See the tussle going on underneath the post between Pumza Moeni and Bethan Goodwin, really fighting for position.
Go round with me. In line.
Goodwin
Right side goal,
from
please.
mid-range.
Just 1 out of 5.
Well done, Bethan. So South African centre pass out the back to Mawani. She sends it forward. There's Kanyisa, who's come on for Nsomi in that centre position. Over the top to Griesel. Juggled ball there, unfortunate. Little knock on the nose here, I think.
Release the ball, goalkeeper.
Yeah, for Kelly Boyle. Might make the eyes water a little. And the lofted pass into Potgieter, stretches out the leg and steps in.
It's a shoulder to the eye, I think, for Boyle. Probably largely due to the height mismatch between her and her opponent. Great interception by Bumvela.
The longer this goes on, the Proteas assert their authority. They had a sedate start by their standards early on in this match, perhaps shrugging off a little bit of a hangover after that thrilling win over Jamaica last night. Pretty tight turnaround for them, but as it's gone on, they just get into a groove. Speaking about a groove, that's 25 from 25 for Potgieter.
Tough demands on the body of these athletes is this competition. This is the 4th day that they would have competed in a row. No teams get a day off until tomorrow, so I'm sure right now there are some sore legs in some of these athletes.
Yeah, it's a rigorous schedule here at the Netball World Cup. For some of these teams, 5 games in 5 days, 8 games in 10 days at this tournament. Of course, already seen Layla Guska pick up a really unfortunate Achilles injury for the Roses, but doesn't seem to have bothered them. They're looking pretty hot, aren't they?
Yeah, well, it's one of those situations, isn't it, where there's such a tight-knit group of players, and the only thing that those ladies can do now is almost rally around Layla as much as they can. Layla has been fantastic in her support of, you know, potentially putting off her post-injury plan to stay here and support her teammates, so it's almost made them rally.
Number 27 for Potgieter. 29-16 now. 14-6. South Africa lead this quarter.
Cross-court pass going awry there for Scottish Thistles. Claire Maxwell just couldn't pull it in. And you see a full-court zone here coming on from the Scottish team, and that is the best way to penetrate it as quick as you like, straight through the middle. Turn, give, and go.
Time, please, injury goalkeeper.
Perfect from Potgieter so far. Yeah, interesting, isn't it? Different nations use a different style of defence, zone defence. Now the Silver Ferns prefer that. What do the Surrey Storm do?
We are not a zone team. Let's put it that way.
Man on man, like it. Get in their face. One-on-one.
Well, with me leading the way, what do you expect?
Another one in the faces of Scotland there from Potgieter. She's metronomic right now.
Yeah, and another Scotland change in that defensive circle to just try and do anything they can to stop Potgieter. We see Hayley Moore-Heron back in the goalkeeper position. Emily Nicol back on at goal defence, and Ella Gibbons heading to that bench after only being brought on in that first quarter.
Contact, goalkeeper.
South Africa play Uganda on Wednesday night. And I'll tell you what, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, Thursday, 8 o'clock, Proteas v Roses. They get rid of the two-court system by then. One court in here, this place is going to be going off. Wherever you are, make sure you tune into that one.
And don't sit near to me, because I will be screaming my head off.
Contact goal, shooter, penalty.
Potgieter holds her hands up.
Time, please.
As the contact call was fair. I guess you can be honest when you're up 31-17.
Well, yeah, exactly that. I'm not sure we saw that in their game against Jamaica yesterday, but today they can afford to be a little bit more diplomatic, shall we say.
Long pass over the top to McCleary.
Obstruction, goalkeeper. Obstruction. By a side,
Beth Goodwin,
goalkeeper, and you're out of the game. By her
75%
side.
so far. 12 of 16. There's number 13.
And that's one way that the Scotland team have really managed to cause problems for the South African defenders, catching that ball middle, turning and swinging it to the pocket first, second, before they have a chance to drop. That's worked really nicely for them so far. And Bethan Goodwin nets a mid to long range shot off 1 foot there.
1 minute to go in the first half of this group G match in the second stage at the Netball World Cup. South Africa looking good for their 4th win of the event. Potgieter sends another one home. Important game for South Africa to stay in tune with England also in this group. Remember, the top 2 out of all 6 in these groups in the second stage go through to the semi-finals. Good steal from Scotland, latching onto the loose pass.
Contact goal, wing attack.
There's the wing defence, Kelly Boyle, who came up with the goods there.
Advantage obstruction, goalkeeper.
Good position from Beth Goodwin. She'll round out this quarter with a goal. One more centre pass from South Africa, but there's the second quarter time whistle. And the quarter's been won 17-10 by South Africa. They won the first 15-10, so 32-20 it is at half-time. Overall, what did you make of the first half, Mickey?
Yeah, a really positive and bright start by the Scottish Thistles team, but unfortunately they just could not sustain it, and the power that is the Spa Proteas just came back at them far too hard. Denise Potgieter underneath that shooting post for South Africa today is causing them all sorts of headaches, and they just do not know how to deal with her.
Yeah, the longer this game goes on, the longer Denise Potgieter and South Africa assert their authority. It was a slow start for the Proteas, but they are well and truly up to speed. 32-20. We'll take a break and show you the highlights after that. Welcome back to the M&S Arena in Liverpool. South Africa leading Scotland 32-20 in the first half. Long chat, almost the whole of half-time. Scotland captain Claire Maxwell talking to the umpires here. And Mickey, what's this all about?
Yeah, she was. So what she was alluding to, you can see her grabbing her hip there, and what she's saying to the umpires is, although there is two of them, only one of them is allowed to conversate or call what's happening at any one time. So what she's saying is happening is the defenders of South Africa are grabbing onto the hip of the shooters in Scotland and turning them away from the line of the ball, and because it's non-umpire side, it's not being seen. Now, as frustrating as it is, that happens across the court everywhere. So is it something that you just have to deal with? Is it something the umpires can take control of, because they can't call what they don't see, and there's only two pair of eyes and they do the absolute best that they can?
Well, maybe those 1%ers can help. Scotland need it. Down 12 goals at the start of this second half. One goal each so far.
Contact, goal attack.
We also see some changes across the board for South Africa. We see the inclusion of Sigrid Berger come into that goal shooter position. Carla Pretorius heads to the bench after providing 30 out of 30 at 100%. Marika Holzhausen comes onto the court at goal attack as well. We also have Carla Pretorius into the goal defence position after sitting off for the first 30 minutes. And Vimbela has moved back to the goalkeeper position. So wholesale changes for South Africa.
There is Siggy Berger. Player you know well.
Yeah, it is her and Shadeen van der Merwe, who is currently contesting the ball there. Both have played for Surrey Storm last season, Ziggy the season before as well. So very, very proud to see that our hard work over the past year has paid off and got them to an opportunity on the world stage.
You just coach them up and set them free.
Basically, yeah. That's a great summary.
Good win on the floor from Kanyisa. Shawane, good position from Berger. And another finish for her. Good solid start for this third quarter from Berger coming off the bench. But look at the hustle from the centre.
Like a proud mum I am.
Centre. Advantage obstruction and defence.
Lizette Griesel. That's a Holzhausen. 112 test caps for Marika Holzhausen.
Yeah, and player of the match in yesterday's game between South Africa and Jamaica. She was outstanding, creative on the ball, smart. I would describe her as a high IQ player. She is so smart when she's in possession with the ball, and she knows exactly how to craft an opportunity to try and put her team in the best possible position to score.
Obstruction centre.
Shot percentage 90,
Contact.
place 75. That's one of the reasons why Scotland are trailing this game, 37-22. Holzhausen across court. There she is from mid-range. Thought about it. Offloads to Berger in a better position.
And we know that Ziggy Berger has absolutely no issue scoring goals. She was the highest percentage shooter in the entire UK Super League last year, ending the season on 94%.
Contact, goal attack.
And now, once she's got movement into her game as well, she's become a force to be reckoned with.
Ziggy Berger 48 of 54 coming into this contest. Good win.
Suction, goalkeeper.
Gets the ball back from a captain and converts.
Lots of Scottish fans in the crowd this evening. They'll be pleased with that. You see the bench clap their hands together over their heads. And they actually left the court at half-time smiling. They seemed pretty cheery, pretty relaxed, pretty happy. So I'm not sure whether they're just using this game as a way to run some combinations and give some ladies minutes, or whether they just love being here and competing at the Vitality Level World Cup.
Ziggy Berger looks like she's enjoying herself at the moment. So she's come on. McCleary, good quick release. Back into Goodwin. And another good finish from Bethan Goodwin. Getting her shooting percentage up.
Positive start to this quarter for Bethan Goodwin. She'll be looking to get her percentage number nice and high. Oh, fantastic interception from Claire Maxwell around the edge of the circle. She read the movement of Chiwene like a book.
Just leaves it behind for Boyle, with Nicol at goal D. McCleary. How's that for an intercept? Expertly done from Carla Pretorius.
Yeah, 6th in the competition before this game for intercepts. She's on 7 now. That takes her total up to 8, which I'm sure will take her up the ladder. Carla Pretorius is one of the best defenders in the world at being able to come out with that hard, flat interception. She's such a tagger. She sits on the arm of the goal attack and runs hard on their shoulder to come through with that interception. And here she is again gaining the defensive rebound.
Contact centre.
South Africa, one of only 3 nations to reach a Netball World Cup final since the knockout system was introduced. That was the last time the World Cup was in England, in Birmingham in 1995.
Oh, just contact goalkeeper.
Berger with another.
Time, goal defence.
Another change for Scotland.
Yeah, Emily Nicol leaves the court, looking in a little bit of distress, to be honest. I don't know whether that's actually a genuine injury or she just needs some minutes. And we see Emily Nicol coming onto the court in goal defence, which is unusual. We usually see her out at that wing defence position. She's a little bit on the smaller side.
Yeah, 5'10".
The obstruction, goal defence, advantage goal.
Breaking wing defence, stay on side.
So Ziggy Berger, 8 from 8 now, 100%. Taking over from Lenise Potgieter, who had 30 of 30 in that first half.
Contact and goal defence.
We also see another change in the shooting end for Scotland this time.
Yep.
Emma Barry comes onto the court in that goal shooter position.
Goalkeeper. Goalkeeper, just come closer, so you're out of play, thank you.
Just 17 years of age, Emma Barry, 6'4". Here she is.
South Africa!
And she scores with her first opportunity.
Yeah, she was the star of the show in Scotland's game against Uganda yesterday. A little bit surprised to not see her in their starting lineup, but good that she gets an opportunity out here now against a team with a calibre like the Proteas.
Interesting little moment before, Carla Pretorius sort of slightly shoved Emma Barry out of the way. They got in each other's way accidentally, but Pretorius kept her line and said, "Hey, youngster, I'm not moving for you." Here is Barry. Really has shot to prominence here. 23 of 29 against Uganda, 11 of 13 against Jiva Mentor when they played England on day 2. It is McCall.
Obstruction.
Nice finish.
Initial was fine, then it came closer.
For Neen McCall. Easy assist for Holsthausen into Berger.
Great take from Izette Grezel there. Almost a massive collision between her and Hayley Mulheron. She managed to take the ball and swiftly turn to avoid it and feed a completely unmarked Ziggy Berger.
Obstruction centre. Penalty.
South African
Outside,
defenders constantly talking to each other inside that circle, trying to figure out who's going to switch on to who. Box out underneath the post from Carla Pretorius.
Out of court.
The miss from McCall.
Have a look across the court now. You see the Scottish zone come on. Both the wing defence and the goal defence sitting really high inside that centre third. And looking long and around it is the way to break it. The Proteas are just too smart today.
Ziggy Berger finishes off all that excellent work from South Africa.
Advantage breaking wing attack.
Breaking this Scottish zone. Is this how many problems is this Protea attack going to cause the Roses on Thursday night?
Outside!
Yeah, you know, the South African team has always been a little bit of a bogey team for us English Roses. They've always provided an issue. It's one of those games that we know we probably should win, but as the strength of the Proteas has increased over the years and the work that Norma Plum has done with them to develop them, it's always caused us problems. And in the quad series in January, they definitely did that. They managed to get a win against the English side, a pretty shock one, to be honest. So yeah, it will be by no means easy.
McCall out of the circle, across to the captain Maxwell.
Advantage off
Slightly risky
goal
pass
attack.
back to McPhail, but
Contact centre.
Scotland keep the handle. It's the centre Choane who's called the contact.
Possession, goal attack.
Bella told to let go.
Obstruction.
And McCall just a little reluctant there to take the shot, look for the layoff, but she'll get another chance. No, she does offload to Barry. And there's an easy finish for big 6'4" Emma Barry.
Just trading off of their centre passes now, aren't they?
Wing defence. Advantage obstruction, wing defence.
Lucky.
Advantage obstruction, goalkeeper. Obstruction, goal.
That's a 15-7 lead now for South Africa in this quarter.
But a great challenge from McCall here. You see her just fingertips away from coming out with possession for her team. A great pass and cut from Nicola McCleary.
Emma Barry trying to get position, but it was excellent work around the corner from Neen McCall.
Yeah, and the smarts of Claire Maxwell on that circle edge, using every bit of her 100 test cap experience to wait for that 3rd second to find her shooter open up underneath the post.
Advantage contact, wing defence.
Seen a few players win 100 caps at this tournament, haven't we?
Contact ball, advantage goal.
Yeah, we have. There've been quite a few across the board, either 100 caps or 50 caps. We've even had one for an umpire in Gary Burgess, who officiated his 100th test cap, not even just game, test cap, which is amazing.
Extraordinary.
Goal attack. One before me.
Holsthausen rattles it, bounces out.
Advantage contact, goal shooter.
Contact, Scotland come away with it. Here's Boyle. Passes back into mid-court to McPhail. McCall now. Maxwell. Always alert, wide-eyed, looking for a target. Here she is again. She's looking at Barry. Over the top to the tall timber.
Contact, goalkeeper. Advantage
She
goal.
rolls it over the front of the rim. 3 from 3 for Emma Barry.
Great, wing defence.
Yeah, good return from her in terms of percentages, but she's definitely not having everything her own way in terms of her positioning under that post. There's a real tussle going on between her and the South African defenders for her to find position. Even rebound position is a fight.
Side, wing attack.
Offside call
Obstruction, goal shooter.
from Griselle there on the edge of the circle. I think she felt a little bit hard done by, excuse me. Came under a little bit of contact from Claire Maxwell, and here she is again at the other end of the court.
Advantage offside
Cleary.
centre.
Bounce back to Maxwell into Barry. That's the triangles they're looking for.
That's the way you need to open up your shooters, you know. If you can't find them presenting ball side, then it's your job to find a route easy for them. So you need to be willing to use your ball speed, swing the ball across the court. Fantastic from the Scottish team. You see their bench clapping.
Shot misses. Proteas come away with it. Just moving the ball up the court with ease at times. South Africa. Berger. That one falls eventually. 15 of 15 for Siggy.
Lovely transition on the through court there. Choane ended up driving to the top of the circle. A great movement underneath the post from Ziggy Berger. Not just showing that she's a holding shooter, can get on the move as well.
Holzhausen over the top, well fought for by Hayley Mulheron. Mulheron just grabbing her left shoulder there. That was a right old tangle in the circle. Scotland still fighting here, now 49-30. inside the final minute of the third quarter. Game 4 of the Netball World Cup. South Africa looking for their 4th win to stay in tune with England in this group in the second stage. They meet each other on Thursday night. Top 2 go through to the semi-finals.
Marking out court's penalty. Yes.
Barry with number 5.
Scotland. Contact wing defence. Goal third.
17 years of age, Emma Barry. A bit more conditioning as she gets a little older and
Restriction. Penalty. Advantage Scotland.
puts on a bit more beef. She's going to be a real handful in there, isn't she?
Absolutely no problem with her accuracy, is there? 5 out of 5, sitting on 100% since she's entered this quarter.
Contact centre.
South Africa going to run out of time here. There's the whistle for the end of the third quarter. 5 goals the difference. Slight improvement from Scotland in that one, but it still remains a big margin, 49-32, with 1 quarter left to play. The Proteas, top 2 team in their group, looking good here for another win. 1 quarter to go. We'll take a break and see you on the other side. Carla Pretorius didn't start the match. Claire Maxwell did for Scotland, the captain. She's still out there and she gets us back underway. The Thistles, right to left as you look at it. The Proteas in their predominantly white dresses, looking for their 4th win of the Netball World Cup. Pass into Emma Barry, who didn't start the match, off the bench. She misses her first shot, gets the rebound and can't convert that either. So South Africa come away with it. Just grabbing her right arm there after those bit of bump and physical stuff under the hoop. Speaking of that, Berger's just shoved away by Mulheron. She'll be allowed to come. Hand it off to Holsthuizen. Back to Berger.
Advantage goal.
And the
South
finish.
Africa.
100% for Sigrid Berger after she came off the bench. It was Lenise Potgieter who started. She had 30 of 30 in the first half. Excellent shooting from the Proteas in this game, and with needles being thread like that
Scotland.
from the captain, Somi, you're going to get good position.
Fantastic dodge underneath the post from Siggy Berger, reading the body momentum of the Scottish defender, overcommitting that drive coming out. So that's really good adaptation from her. We also see changes to both lineups. For Scotland, we see Lindsay Gallagher come back onto the court, but this time on the ball there in a wing attack. And then for South Africa, Chiwene moves from centre to wing defence. Berger comes onto the court at centre, and Bongi Msomi comes back onto the court at wing attack as well. So Izette Grizel moves to the bench.
Neem McCall with a fine shot for Scotland. There is confirmation of the South African 7 on court right now.
Advantage contact wing defence. Scotland.
Somi Berger and Shawana Kanyisa in that mid-court. You see Gallagher on for Scotland at wing attack. Started at goal attack.
Big collision there. Lindsay Gallagher taking a forearm straight to the jaw.
Holsthuizen, oh, that's a good look.
Advantage offside
Into
centre.
Berger.
Restriction.
Such great vision, and then the timing of that left hand
South
overhead
Africa.
from Marika Holsthuizen. McCall with the deflection pass, and Scotland will get possession. That's good work from the Scotland goal attack. Here's Maxwell.
Contact on goal wing defence.
Oh, I mean, she definitely got away with doing a footwork there.
Lindsay Gallagher back in possession, over to Barry.
Contact shooter.
Shooter, Barry called for contact.
Shooter. Contact against you. Fire side.
Yeah, so she was called for a contact, but very sneakily tried to act like she didn't hear the umpire and just get her arms over the ball. So the umpire quite rightly saying, excuse me, you need to come and stand out of play.
Yeah, Louise Travis and Kate Stevenson after that. Call for those kind of shenanigans.
Contact, goalkeeper, penalty.
The frustration on the face of Mulheron as Berger. That's another easy finish.
Yeah, she's trying everything, isn't she, Mulheron, trying to stay in the contest, work around the body of the shooters to win the ball, but just too strong is Ziggy Berger.
Centre obstruction.
You can
No, with the
find
centre,
Berger's
please.
shooting stats of 100% with Denise Potgieter. Also
Target
perfect
obstruction, goal defence.
in this game. Barry from mid-range here.
3 seconds, no goal.
Called for 3 seconds, too many double pumps before the shot. Held ball, and it's a giveaway. Holsthuizen just composes herself, clap of the hands. She enjoyed that one from distance.
Yeah, she did 3 out of 4 is Marijke Holzhausen, 75%. One of the most experienced players across this court. She is currently surrounded by them in Msomi, who've got a 100th cap during this tournament as well, and what a credit to South African sport she is. Her interview between her and Norma Plummer was lovely to sit and watch. If you haven't seen it, you must. It's a right tearjerker.
I must check that out.
Norma laughs, she smiles. That's not something we see often.
I like a teary movie. Maxwell.
Target obstruction, centre.
That's the pass back
Contact,
to
goal attack.
the wing defence, Kelly Boyle. Gallagher.
Centre obstruction.
One pass forward, one pass back at the moment for Scotland. So difficult to get the ball into the circle, that defensive Carla Pretorius and Vumbela. And there's another turnover. Maxwell pleading with the umpire for a decision there, didn't get it. And here come the Proteas once more.
Obstruction, wing attack.
We saw that long conversation between Maxwell and the umpires at half-time. She spent almost the entire break
Over here.
discussing something with them about interpretation of certain decisions, but
Goal defence, obstruction,
didn't
advantage.
get the call
goal.
there, and the end
South
product is
Africa.
that Berger has number 22 out of 22.
Just the flow of play from this South African side at the moment is too much for the Scottish team to contend with. Multiple options on the ball, doesn't matter if one person's defended, there's somebody else who isn't. But on that occasion, Hayley Mulheron working her feet, persisting to come out with that interception, and ultimately the contact call.
Working her feet, she's working a backside off out there. Hayley Mulheron has done all tournament, to be fair. But there's a giveaway from Scotland. And Somi, the captain, onto it like a flash, and there she is again, feeding into Berger. Oh, you give up possession against this Proteas side at your peril.
Fantastic work here from Chiwene, going back and up to get that one-hand grab out of the air, as we see another wholesale load of changes for the Scottish official side. Nicola McCleary coming back onto the court in that wing attack position. Emily Nicol coming onto the court in the wing defence position. And we see Lauren Tate coming onto the court in the goalkeeper position, who is that only one sole player to not play for the Scottish Thistles side back in England.
Here's Gallagher over the top. Rattles at home.
Moved back into that goal attack position has Gallagher.
Looks better suited there, doesn't she? Seems to offer a bit more for Scotland.
Yeah, absolutely. She's so creative. Uses her body so well. Really, really protects space for the ball. Fantastic long ball across the court from Nicola McCleary. Great vision.
Shanisa again. She's everywhere at the moment.
Yeah, but as we know, unless you've got a G on your bib, you are not allowed to encroach into that circle. And she tiptoed inside it on that occasion, so umpire giving possession
against the wing defence, outside.
to the Scottish Thistles.
Maxwell into Barry.
obstruction, goal defence,
And
goal
Barry
control.
finishes that one. 7 from 9 now.
Advantage breaking wing attack.
For Emma Barry.
Pass
Scotland with the
obstruction,
centre pass here.
Goal defence,
Pass
just pull your back
offside,
pivot,
wing
please.
defence.
Cleverly gives it back to her captain, gets a bit of
Contact,
position.
goalkeeper.
Yeah, she got bumped out of the way
Dress
there
that.
from Baylor.
You do have to wonder how much the energy was zapped out of this Scottish side yesterday. You know, they may not have got the result against Uganda, but they damn sure did try their hardest and competed right until the last minute to only go down by 9 goals.
Goal defence.
Maybe that's had something to play or played a part in their performance today.
Both players out.
And no doubt Tracy Neville and Serena Guthrie and the Rose will be watching this game,
Scotland.
analysing this game. What is it about the Proteas that worries the England netball team the most? What's their biggest threat to England?
Well, I think for me, it now becomes about matchups across the court. So not so much about whole teams, but about who you're going to play versus who. So for example, South Africa, their main players for me and the biggest people that we have to worry about, Lenise Potgieter underneath that post. Who matches up against Lenise Potgieter best? Because notoriously, her and Jiva Mentor, anytime they've gone up against each other, she has provided a headache for even the great Jiva Mentor. So who is the best person to match up against her? Same person or same conversation for Carla Pretorius in that goal defence position. The best goal defence on form in world netball right now, who's playing for this Spa Proteas team. Notoriously, if Helen Housby matches up against her, Carla wins that battle. And these are, you know, absolute standout players we're talking about for the England Roses right now. So I think the coaches will be very grateful for a day off tomorrow. They'll use that time to go away, analyse their opposition, have a look at those matchups and figure out a game plan for, right, who are we going to partner together in the defensive circle to stop that person? Who are we going to partner together through the midcourt to help that shooting combination?
Yeah, as you say, they will get a rest. South Africa will play Uganda on Wednesday. Before that, group decider on Thursday night. It'll be Thursday night lights here inside the M&S Bank Arena for that one. The crowd have brought the noise. Every evening session sold out.
Contact goalkeeper and goal defence.
We'll reconfigure this stadium, just one court
In between them, please.
after today.
What a venue. As if this stadium didn't already look pretty enough. When it transitions to one court, more seating being brought in, it's going to look absolutely unbelievable. And Gal Parata potentially using this opportunity to just run combinations for the Scottish side. We'll see a different goal defence take the court now in Ella Gibbons.
To stop the press, Siggy Berger is now 23 or 25. Missed a couple of shots. Barry, Gallagher. Scotland maintain possession here. They'll inbound the ball on the goal line.
Heard Carla Pretorius shouting, base, base, to her counterpart in Vambella there, really wanting her to slide across that baseline and stop the drive of Lindsay Gallagher.
Contact, goal attack, South Africa.
I mentioned earlier that 11 of these 12 Scottish women playing in the Thistles here play for the Strathclyde Sirens. Do you think, would you like to see more variety in the Scotland team in terms of the players perhaps going to some clubs in England and moving around the competition to get a bit of exposure with other clubs?
Well, it depends what they're doing it for, and to be quite honest, it depends how their home nation view that rule, I guess. You know, it's not a written rule, but is it frowned upon? Are they told that if they want to represent this Scottish international team, then they have to stay and play in Scotland? I don't know that. That's just me thinking out loud. But, you know, is it the right thing to do that they get that week in, week out match play together, they build those connections in the English Super League, and then that can help them flourish on an international stage? We also see it with Wales, who aren't here at this competition, but the majority of the Wales national team play for Celtic Dragons, and they don't compete anywhere else across the league. So, you know, I think it just depends on the governing body and how they view it. But there has to be said, you know, best players in the world should be playing in the best league in the world, and in my opinion, that should mean playing and not sitting on a bench. So if you are one of those, then you need to go and apply your tried elsewhere and back yourself to do that.
Contact, advantage goal.
Well, we're going to see Emma Barry get some more court time in the Super League next year, it seems, having not had too many opportunities last season, but here she is playing for the Thistles in the World Cup, and she's showing that she's well and truly up to it.
Yeah, and that would be an amazing opportunity for her. And, you know, as coaches, it would be an ideal situation if we didn't have to import players and we could look at players who are, you know, home-born and bred to fill these positions. So I'm sure that will give a headache to Gal Parata or the head coach of Scottish Strathclyde Sirens, whoever that's going to be next year when that's announced. You know, they've made a really big push this year. Claire Nelson, their CEO, has done wonders for them over the past 18 months, and they've just employed Karen Atkinson as their new technical director.
And Scottish netball is on the up, there's no doubt about it. 7th in the world. I read a quote the other day from Claire Nelson. 75% increase in participation since 2014. I mean, that's an enormous increase in terms of the amount of girls and women playing netball in Scotland, and that's got to be a good thing.
Oh yeah, amazing. And you know, that's largely down to Gal Parata and the work that she's been doing with this Scottish national team for a really, really long time. You know, I know it may not seem it because in games like this the score is the way it is, but they have their own parameters when they come into this competition. You know, Gail said after a conversation or a post-match interview with England, you know, we didn't target this game coming into this competition. We targeted our games that were against Samoa and Uganda. So, you know, it doesn't necessarily, it's a bigger picture for these teams, not about the result in that game right now, but around world ranking points. You know, are they slowly creeping up that ladder? Have they reduced the deficit from the time that they played this current nation, whether that be 2 years ago or 4 years ago, or in this case, back in the 1960s?
Yeah, it's been a long time before these two met in a Netball World Cup.
Contact ball.
Losing the handle there is
sorry, just inside.
Holsthazen.
Inside, Jess.
Berger. Centre, Holsthazen. Fancies a long ranger? No, she hands it off to Silgi Berger. She puts it away.
South Africa.
So inside the final 20 seconds here.
Hold time.
South Africa on course for a 4th win
Hold time, please.
of the tournament.
Delay in play. It's a caution, advance it. Penalty against you, centre.
Delay of play with 20 seconds to go. 66-38. Somi
Contact goalkeeper.
over to Berger. Another contact from Tate for good measure. Berger fights for it.
Contact goal shooter, penalty.
And that is the final whistle. Not enough time for Emma Barry to put away the quick release. It's been an accomplished performance from the Proteas. They were made to fight early on in the opening quarter, but they have run away with this one by 66-38, and they are well on course for a semi-final spot at the Netball World Cup. 66-38, South Africa over Scotland. So another professional performance from this Proteas team. Uganda to come. The day off tomorrow, the Wednesday night game against Uganda, and then they'll go up against the Roses on Thursday. Not necessarily a lot of people were talking about South Africa ahead of this tournament, Mickey, but they sure are now.
Well, yeah, I think there was always that team that everybody knew would be kind of there or thereabouts, but they're coming into this competition basically, you know, we talk about the big five in Australia, New Zealand, England, Jamaica. South Africa probably come last in that conversation, or at least did do before today.
Not anymore.
Well, little do we know, they are now the team in the driving seat when it comes to those semi-final places. Ahead of England, definitely ahead of Jamaica, as we know, after yesterday's results. And Australia and New Zealand are sitting in that other pool and still have each other yet to play. But look, I'm of the opinion of this is a World Cup, and if you want to win a World Cup, if you want to be crowned world champions, you have to be the best in the world, which means you have to be prepared to beat every team in the world, and you have to be willing to win. There is no easy route.
And the ability of Norma Plummer in this game particularly to manage her squad, to lead the likes of Holthays and Berger and Pretorius on the bench to start this game, share the minutes around such a hectic schedule.
Yeah, Norma Plummer, for want of a better phrase, is the absolute GOAT. She is one of the greatest of all time when it comes to talking about coach conversations. What she did for Australia before she came here, and I mean, she has just been beyond instrumental for this South African as a nation, let alone for them and the way that they're producing now. This is a result of 4 years of hard work behind the scenes. And, you know, the reality is she doesn't actually get to spend this much time with the players. She lives in Oz, she flies over every now and again and has sort of 2 to 3 weeks preparation time with them. So, I mean, props to Norma, and I'm just so glad, as I'm sure she is, that her hard work is currently paying dividends on a world stage.
Yeah, Nicole Cusack, former Australian player, of course, World Cup winner for '95, alongside her as an assistant as well. There's a lot of netball IQ in that coaching setup for the Proteas. Scotland really started the first quarter well. First 10 minutes, it was game on here.
Yeah, it was. You know, they'd led that quarter by as much as...
So, inside the final 20 seconds here,
Hold time.
South Africa on course for a 4th win
Hold time, please.
of the
First
tournament.
delay in play. It's a caution, advance it. Penalty against you, centre.
Delay of play with 20 seconds to go. 66-38. Somi
Contact goalkeeper.
over to Berger. Another contact from Tate for good measure. Berger fights for it.
Contact goal shooter, penalty.
And that is the final whistle. Not enough time for Emma Barry to put away the quick release. It's been an accomplished performance from the Proteas. They were made to fight early on in the opening quarter, but they have run away with this one by 66 to 38, and they are well on course for a semi-final spot at the Netball World Cup. 66-38, South Africa over Scotland. So another professional performance from this Proteas team. Uganda to come. The day off tomorrow, the Wednesday night game against Uganda, and then they'll go up against the Roses on Thursday. Not necessarily a lot of people were talking about South Africa ahead of this tournament, Mickey, but they sure are now.
Well, yeah, I think there was always that team that everybody knew would be kind of there or thereabouts, but they're coming into this competition basically, you know, we talk about the big 5 in Australia, New Zealand, England, Jamaica. South Africa probably come last in that conversation, or at least did do before today.
Not anymore.
Well, little do we know, they are now the team in the driving seat when it comes to those semi-final places. Ahead of England, definitely ahead of Jamaica, as we know, after yesterday's results. And Australia and New Zealand are sitting in that other pool and still have each other yet to play. But look, I'm of the opinion of this is a World Cup, and if you want to win a World Cup, if you want to be crowned world champions, you have to be the best in the world, which means you have to be prepared to beat every team in the world, and you have to be willing to win. There is no easy route.
And the ability of Norma Plummer in this game particularly to manage her squad, to lead the likes of Holthays and Berger and Pretorius on the bench to start this game, share the minutes around such a hectic schedule.
Yeah, Norma Plummer, for want of a better phrase, is the absolute GOAT. She is one of the greatest of all time when it comes to talking about coach conversations. What she did for Australia before she came here, and I mean, she has just been beyond instrumental for this South African as a nation, let alone for them and the way that they're producing now. This is a result of 4 years of hard work behind the scenes. And, you know, the reality is she doesn't actually get to spend this much time with the players. She lives in Oz, she flies over every now and again and has sort of 2 to 3 weeks preparation time with them. So, I mean, props to Norma, and I'm just so glad, as I'm sure she is, that her hard work is currently paying dividends on a world stage.
Yeah, Nicole Cusack, former Australian player, of course, World Cup winner for '95, alongside her as an assistant as well. There's a lot of netball IQ in that coaching setup for the Proteas. Scotland really started the first quarter well. First 10 minutes, it was game on here.
Yeah, it was. You know, they'd led that quarter by as much as 4 or 5 at one point in time, and I actually thought, hold on a minute here, has that game from yesterday taken far too much out of South Africa? But, you know, once they got themselves going, it was absolute professionalism from them all the way across the court. They won the mid-court battle all the way through. Their defensive pressure was just too much for the Scottish Thistles to handle, and every single shooting combination they put out there was absolutely unstoppable. It's a bit like the same conversation with New Zealand, really. It's like no matter what combination they play in, no matter who's out there wearing a bib, every single person knows their job.
You talk about performing in the key moments on the big stage. South Africa, they look like a team that aren't going to get stage fright. They're not going to be daunted by the big night. We're going to have one on Thursday night against England between these two, aren't we? And they just look so composed when they go about their business.
Yeah, but having said that, you know, this Scottish Nationals team put up a fight and they caused South Africa a problem in that open passage of play. And as we saw with the South Africa v Jamaica game, you cannot afford to have a bad first quarter because you leave yourself too much to do. So props to the Scottish side for putting it to these guys today and trying to hold their own until the very, very last minute.
Yeah, really good win for South Africa. We'll go downstairs, get some reaction with...
South African coach, Norma Plummer, and player of the match, Carla Pretorius, getting a bit of deja vu talking to you two as well at the moment. Carla, I'll come to you first of all. Great performance from you. Great performance from the whole team. Starting to look like a force to be reckoned with out there.
Yeah, definitely. It was our aim to make sure we get a few combinations out there, and even I think everybody did real well. I think in the Vims and Casey really stood out in their performance, and yeah, I think they probably should have gotten the player of the match.
When the team plays that well, it could really go to anyone, couldn't it? Norma, well, like Carla said, strong team performance. How impressed were you with how this team are going?
Oh, well, we had every intentions of, mixing it up a bit today, but we were only going to do it quarter by quarter or half time and change it up because you've got to give them time to settle. I think Scotland tried a zone on us and, I think we handled any of that. I felt we were in control of the game, certainly after the first quarter. So we could basically just settle down and try and work our ball.
We're seeing you use all 12 players in all these games so far this tournament. How tactical is that and how big a part of your tournament management is that? Because it's intense, this 10-day World Cup.
Yeah, it is, but I think you can see if you don't use it, you can't run 7 players and have a bench just sitting there. As I said, we get one injury and we haven't worked the bench, you're going to be in trouble. You really have to play your players, and why not? You've picked them, they should be given the opportunity.
Carla, a day off for you guys tomorrow. I'm sure all the girls on the team are grateful for that. Then Uganda, then Thursday, it's the big one, England. You guys very much in the driving seat at the moment for the semi-final spots. How pumped are you looking ahead to that?
Yeah, we had a good game yesterday and today, and we're literally just focusing on our next game, which would be Uganda. Just focusing on what we need to do as a team and where we probably can work on a few areas. We'll appreciate tomorrow, the off day, but then ready to go on Wednesday.
Norma, are you going to give them a good rest, or will it be intense training tomorrow?
Yeah, I think they're going for a bit of a cruise down the river. But we'll do some individuals in the morning and sit back and relax and enjoy it. I think, for the rest day, we're only going to get one, we may as well enjoy it.
Well, enjoy tomorrow. See you on Wednesday. Thanks, ladies. Well, I've got Gail Parata is with me. Gail, the opening few minutes of that match, it looked like you had the upper hand, maybe taking advantage a little bit of South Africa's fatigue from yesterday, but not able to fully capitalise on it.
No, well, firstly, yeah, we were trying to take advantage of that. We knew that if we wanted to be competitive today, we had to stay with them in the first quarter, and we kind of did that for a little bit, and then we let it go away in the last 5 minutes. So in the second quarter, we were trying to work on that part, and, happy how we started the game, and then the second quarter, but the second half, that was all about, we need to rest people as well. We know that South Africa are a classy side, and to beat them we have to be on our game, but when we can't finish off shots or we're making little errors, you can't win matches that way, and so a little bit disappointed about things like that, but we took them on.
Coming into a tournament like this for a team like Scotland that is young and it's building and growing so much, is this a game that you'd be hoping or expecting to win?
No, not at all. I mean, we were hoping and expecting to win the game yesterday, and that would have put us in the match with Trinidad and Tobago, but unfortunately we played the top of our pool, or top of the other pool, sorry, South Africa today, and we knew it would be a tall ask, but all we wanted to do was play well, be proud of our performance, and try and prove to people why we're number 7 in the world on the world rankings. That was our goal today, and in parts we did that, in other parts we didn't look like that.
Well played today. Enjoy your rest day. We'll see you Wednesday. Thanks.
Thank you.